And welcome back to Out of the Fog. Well, my next guests have had an amazing year. They cleaned up at the Royal St. John's Regatta, and now they hold the winning title at the 2016 Hooch Champs as they took part in one of the world's largest rowing regattas, where over 2,000 boats raced over a 2-day period in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And please welcome Amanda Hancock, Alyssa Devereaux, Nancy Beaton, and Amanda Ryan. Great to have you ladies here in studio.
Thank you.
Yeah, and a big congratulations. I have to start off. I know we've got some, a picture in the background. We've got some pictures and video to show everybody through our conversation here this evening. But first, tell me, where did you get the idea to go into this particular, competition?
Well, I guess we've been on a 3-year plan, and since the regatta in St. John's only comes once a year, we wanted some near-term goals to keep us motivated. And Siobhan Duff, a well-known rower in St. John's, Newfoundland, lives down in Tennessee, so she's been awesome and always welcoming us and inviting us down to attend this really big regatta. So this year we jumped on it, and it was an awesome experience.
So this was, I say collaboration. You have obviously the M5 team, and as well you went down with the OzFM crew. So I guess everybody kind of teamed up and went in for a number of races. Is that correct?
Yeah, so Siobhan's old teammates from the OzFM crew, they went down as well as us. And they did their own races, but we also combined together and raced together. So it was really great to have like the 2 generations of teams together and racing together.
Yeah, and this was a little bit different, especially for you, Nancy, just because you have the fixed seat rowing and the slide seat rowing. Have I got that right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I've been rowing for 6 years on fixed seat, but I've never rowed slide before. And all these girls are pretty experienced in slide seat, and they were really encouraging and said that I should try it out. So. I started in September. We all were slide seating with the St. John's Rowing Club, and it was so fun. And anyway, so we decided to take the leap and go to the Hooch.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Now, Amanda, this isn't your first time taking part in the Hooch, but tell us a little bit about, I guess, the difference of this particular competition when you even look at the regatta, and that's something that obviously all of us are fairly we know well here.
Yeah, it's really different than the St. John's Regatta because the regatta here is only 1 day, as you know. And when you go to a regatta like the head of the Hooch, you have a lot of representation from clubs all over. It was an international regatta, so there was a lot more representation from the college level, university, and it's kind of one of many down there. Like when they're competing in slide seat regattas all fall, you can go to one almost every weekend.
Really?
So we just kind of flew down to participate in the Hooch while these people are competing probably every weekend. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, and that's one of the things I took away from one of the videos that we heard. A lot of colleges and a lot of university teams. Yeah. So this is not that it's not a big sport here, but obviously it's a huge sport down in the States as well, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, most definitely. And one of the most exciting things about rowing at the head of the Hooch Regatta is you're up against big competition like statewide universities and colleges and when they have a lot of resources to put behind their training. So I think that's why we're so thrilled with our result in the 4 especially. Our results also in the 8 as well.
So tell us a little bit about the results, because there were a couple of different races. I'm going to call them races. I know you guys have, of course, there's a whole new language when it comes to rowing, but tell us a little bit about that. Simplify that for us.
Sure. So we rowed in a 4 boat, so a 4-man boat. That was myself and Amanda Ryan, Amanda Hancock, and Katie Wadden, who's not here tonight. So that was in a college and club category. So we placed first in that race or category out of 55 total entries. So we were thrilled with that. We also rowed in 2 different 8 categories. One was a college and club as well, where we placed 5th, and Nancy was in that 8, as well as 3 slide seaters from Tennessee. And we also rowed in another 8, where 3 OzFM girls joined us, and we finished 13th in that category. So that was awesome.
That's amazing. So what was, we're showing everybody some pictures here to give them a good visual of what you're talking about. But when you're going down, you talked about obviously the 3-year plan that you have as a team. What were the expectations going down there? I mean, you did your results are amazing, but knowing that you're going up against these colleges, these universities, they do this almost every week as a race.
Well, we didn't really have any high expectations going in. We just wanted to go in with an open mind and kind of just see how we did. But we did go down, myself, Alyssa, and Amanda 6 years ago, and raced in this same race, and we came second out of 33 entries that time, so it was a little bit smaller. So we knew that we were, okay on the level to race against these other teams. But I don't think either of us came out of it expecting to come out like in first place. But it was great to go down with an open mind and just have a great time and hope for the best and really just race our hardest and use it as like a stepping stone for next year's regatta.
What was it that do you think that kind of set your team apart from the other teams? I know I'm looking at you, Nancy.
I don't know.
But anybody can can come in on this if.
I think a lot of us have been rowing slide seat for a long time. Like the girls rowed in Canada Games in 2009, Katie rowed in Canada Games 2005, and myself in 2001. So having that competition at the national level in Canada, I think, is very good preparation when you go to club and collegiate level races in the States. We've also rowed in straight boats, so like in a straight four or a pair or a double where there's no coxswain. So a lot of our training this fall was in a straight four. So we had a lot of help from the coaches at the St. John's Rowing Club, but we were able to self-direct and kind of coach each other, and especially with Nancy first rowing slide seat, point out technical things to each other. So we can we helped each other along the way, even when we didn't have the same kind of resources that they did in the college level.
What an experience like this, what are some of the takeaways, I guess, going into your next plan? Because clearly you're not going to be stopping here, I don't think, anytime soon, really.
Well, it's definitely validation, I think. That's the biggest thing for me is, you can race here and do well, and it's a really good feeling because it's a local race, but to go away on this large scale in the States and race against these college and club teams that do this kind of racing all the time, and to still do really well, come 5th out of 28 in the 8 and come 1st in the 4, and it's just confidence building, and you just bring that with you going forward in any kind of training and racing.
And Florida has such a long practice season, they don't have snow for half the year or whatever, right? So we're really limited here, actually, and
right.
we did really well.
Yeah.
Excellent. So what was that moment? Especially coming in first. What was it that just even crossed your mind? I mean, does that? I guess you're so focused in the race, but I know even from spending time at the regatta over the years and seeing, of course, even you in this past August walk off into the winner's circle. Like it's just almost like seems like a haze. Like was that feeling different than it was at the Royal St. John's Regatta for any of you?
It was kind of a surprise. Alyssa and I were walking to the porta potties after the race, and we were
like you would.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how you did right away.
Yeah.
Because it's based on time. So.
Yeah, like the boats start individually about 2 or 3 boat lengths apart. So you know that if you pass a boat, you're definitely going to be ahead of them in the standings, and if a boat passes you, you're going to be behind them. So in our 4 race, we passed around 10 boats, so we knew that we had done well. But we also knew the field was really deep, about 55 entries, so we were kind of like, it'd be nice to be in top 5, top 3. And Alyssa was checking the results on her phone as we were walking to the porta potty, and she stopped and she grabbed my arm and she said, "We came first!" And we didn't run. We turned around. We didn't go to the porta potties, and we ran back to tell the other girls.
And we didn't believe it at first.
It was pretty surreal. It said unofficial results at the top, and we waited probably 45 minutes before we really celebrated.
Yeah, they have an unofficial period in case people protest, and so we were waiting, and we were still tweeting pictures out, even when the results were unofficial.
Well, listen, we had to leave it there. We're all out of time already. This went really, really fast. I want to thank you all for being here, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, indeed. Folks, we're going to take a very quick break, but we'll be right back. Stay with us.